Yeah, what's going on? It's a lot of stuff being talked about. I'm just talking about random stuff over the next couple of days, unless I find something that's current to talk about. But it's funny how dudes was getting popped left and right, and everybody just like, yeah, let's move. Let's talk about Terrence Crawford. Yeah, not too fast. If that's the case, we can say something about anybody. Now I see the protection out for Eddy Reynoso. I see the play. Like we ain't even gotta ask them, hey, do y'all care about that? Man, no, they don't care about the Eddy Reynoso situation. They don't. They're showing you right now, man, to be honest with you, I don't know a boxer. And Eddy Reynoso ain't got like 10 fighters that he didn't, made from scratch or whatever, you know what I'm saying, as far as built from the ground up. So like the way I look at Eddy Reynoso and the way people react to him is desperate. Um, I don't know. You gotta be one of the most desperate boxer fans to really be showing this dude a lot of respect. Like he just that guy like that. Yeah, he's a decent trainer, but with the way things been going for him, anybody could be a trainer. With the same circumstances that he's been given through boxing, I can be a world class trainer right now. If I had guys that was moving strong and fast like how he has them, some way or another, he said he's not responsible for them. So I don't even know if that's his work. As far as I know, he just showing up. He's saying he's just showing up for the fights and working the corner and leaving. That's it. Allegedly. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you what's going on for real though. People see the writing on the wall. I think the Shiraz and Berlanga thing kind of scared everybody, like they seen a ghost. And as soon as the fight ended, everybody started going after Canelo. His resume. It wasn't cool when I was doing it. But as soon as Berlanga got knocked out, they went straight at Canelo. They didn't say anything like that after Munguia got knocked out though. And I'll probably talk about why later. Since they wanna talk about certain things to build a fight up, yeah, let's do that. Because nobody has their eyes on the Reynoso situation. Now this guy's dangerous before this fight. He should be the most talked about person right now before this Crawford Canelo fight. Now people trying to figure out why Crawford got all these knockouts and their favorite fighter can't knock nobody out. I'm telling y'all, that's what's really going on. Dudes are starting to realize, man, guys ain't knocking people out like that. Cause all this knockout stuff is fairy tales, bro. When you really fighting somebody who that guy, who ain't been getting knocked out the past 20 years, yeah, you gonna have to work. So that's what they run into right now. They used to run into a lot of guys who just lay down and get hit on the chin easy and go down easy. Then the worst part is you got guys that's juicing that can't even get a knockout. Bro, you on the stuff and you still can't get a knockout? Or you used to be on it and you can't get a knockout? I think that's the worst part. Yeah, so you got a lot of guys that used to be on it that can't get a knockout. Everybody like Victor Cunny, Victor Cunny. What does Victor Cunny have to do with that? If somebody, let me tell you this right now, because this is a problem in boxing right now. Nobody's talking about. If somebody used to be on the juice and they got off and they can't get a knockout, what does that have to do with Victor Cunny? Do you understand this dude's career is over? If the best he looked was on something he can't take no more, that's considered illegal. In any situation, in any occupation, when you have a guy, most things, I don't know if people know about the laws in America, most things that's done that's not in a like a situation that's licensed or anything, it's gonna be considered illegal. And if you're doing it to help people without knowledge, it's gonna be considered illegal. So that's what both of these guys um, are basically in that situation or was in. But it's only one guy getting pointed at right now. Why? Because he worked with a lot of black fighters. Let's talk. I'm really gonna talk about it this morning. Then I'm gonna just dip off of here. But the reason why Victor Cunny is getting criticized because he worked with a lot of black fighters, worked with a lot of Mexican fighters too. But he worked with a lot of black fighters. So Terrence Crawford, to some people who don't know boxing, he's came out of nowhere, and now they're all of a sudden talking about his power. Before he fought Spence, they said he ain't had no power, even though he had nothing but knockouts. They watch the same fights like everybody else. Boxing experts. They watch the same fights like everybody else. And didn't think this man could knock people out, even though he was already knocking people out. So now you got people who learned something back in the day about and this is weird too, because it's not, if people do talk about Victor Cunny this much, he's not the only guy in boxing that does what he does. I mean, Fury has a guy. It's a lot of people who have certain guys they work with that's not talked about. So that's one reason why people don't really care about this stuff. It's a black thing. I have to say it because the kids have to see it. They have to hear this, or even grown-ups who don't understand. But that's what that narrative come from. Ain't nobody bringing up Victor Cunny when he's dealing with the Barrios or who's the other fighters I seen, Mikey Garcia, these other guys. They're not bringing that up. And Mikey jumped up 2 weight classes. Ain't nobody saying nothing to him. Same situation as Terrence Crawford. You think anybody was running around saying, "Oh, Mikey Garcia"? Nobody. And we know why. Because he wasn't getting guys out of there like that. And because of the Mexican pride. Yeah, that's getting in the way a lot these days, huh? Yeah, that's the reason. Mikey Garcia did the same thing Terrence Crawford about to do now. and nobody said anything. But now you're hearing people bring up Snack. These people have dealt with the same guy. Eddy Reynoso got all kind of fighters popping, ruining careers out here, allegedly. And people just looking the other way. You can look the other way. I'm gonna be honest with you. The fact that a lot of Mexican fans is not holding, uh, or American fans is not holding Eddy Reynoso accountable, you're ruining these fighters' careers. I mean, everybody else cleaning up right now. The only guys that's not is the guys that's around him. Whether he's involved or not, careers is getting cooked right now. Oscar Valdez just left. That ain't got nothing to do with Victor Conte. What's old boy name? Julio Cesar Martinez. He just fought recently and couldn't even keep his wrist attached to his hand in the correct manner for a 12 or 10 round fight, and took a loss. That happens when you taking stuff. People can say, "Oh, that's from a mistake." Well, guess what? You can get injuries. You can get injured easy when you get off of steroids. People don't know that. And this dude got an injury while he fighting in the middle of a fight. Never happened before. After he got off the stuff. So yeah, people don't even know. They think they know, and they just cheering. Yeah, 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 yeah. But you supporting something that's destroying somebody's career though. Now guys ain't looking the same. Then this is at the worst time. Turkey Sheetan showed up. He ain't trying to figure out what's going on. He's like, "Hey, you either clean or not. I ain't trying to figure out nothing." So yeah, people can look past Reynoso however they want to, but and focus on Conte. Conte, they only focusing on him because, like I said before, he has black fighters. If Reynoso had a whole bunch of black fighters over there, yeah, they'll probably be focused on him a lot more. But he got mostly Mexicans popping over there, and over there with him, and they giving him good grace. He's the most powerful man right now. Nobody else in boxing can do this. Nobody. Nobody in boxing can. Not a Manny Pacquiao. Nothing. And Manny Pacquiao was over there and had like 6, 7 guys over there around him popping. Oh, it'll be a wrap for Pacquiao. Even Pacquiao. Even Pacquiao. Yes. If he had 6, 7 guys around him, oh yeah, he's cooked. And I know he's a fighter, but I'm saying he has fighters. Duh. Just like Reynoso. But yeah, for everybody to be like, nah, I don't know. Oh, okay. Oscar Valdez leaving. I ain't got to say nothing about what people should be focusing on. Oscar Valdez just left after somebody failed. Well, after 2 people failed the test. I don't know who in his family told him or gave him advice. I don't know why he felt so comfortable. But the dude has moved on. One of the most loyal fighters to Eddy Reynoso outside of Canelo. He has moved on. Whatever he thought was gonna work, it ain't working. So for everybody to be jumping up now and talking about Snack and Victor Conte and Terrence Crawford, it shows that they haven't been watching Terrence Crawford over the years. They don't watch boxing like that. They only, no disrespect, but they was only watching Earl Spence and they wasn't paying attention to Terrence Crawford. And when he was, after he whooped off in the Earl Spence, they started to realize, oh, Terrence Crawford got power. All these knockouts in a row that he got. That's why everybody was tripping when he didn't knock out Majamov, because they like, oh, he been knocking guys out all this time. I wanted to see it live. You should have been watching it live. I mean, he number 1 pound for pound. Oh, well, people don't watch him. Okay, people don't know boxing then. That's what's up. What's up, Pancho Villa? What's going on, dog? Pancho Villa, what's up? Yeah, get these clowns out of boxing, man. That's what I'm trying to tell them, Puncho. Mexico ain't trying to have no Eddy Reynosos over there. You got Virgil, Bam Rodriguez. They ain't going nowhere towards now if Virgil and Bam on snack, ain't nobody gonna say nothing. They're not gonna try to compare it to what Eddy Reynoso. What they're trying to do right now is they're trying to compare guys like Bam being uh on snack because Barrios is already on it. Ain't nobody saying nothing. They trying to compare that to being over there with Eddy Reynoso, like the situations that's happening. Nah, we're not gonna do that. Yeah, me too, bro. Shout out to Pancho. Me too. I was like that. I like Terrence Crawford more than most fighters. But I'm like, Canelo took the fight. But man, after seeing all this, I'm like, yeah, bro, it's time to get him out the way, bro. Eddy Reynoso got way too much power now. Way too much. Like I was looking last night, this dude got more power than Canelo. This dude got more power than Canelo. That's what really woke me up last night. I'm like, wow. I'm looking at the Golovkin situation. You don't really see anybody blaming him when the Golovkin situation happened. The only person that said something was Oscar. I think that was before that happened though. Oscar like, man, you gotta get rid of this dude. Oscar like, yeah, you gotta get rid of this dude. I don't like this guy. Whether he's right about whatever, because Oscar be wrong a lot. But in this situation, I heard everybody saying, man, he jealous. He jealous of Eddy Reynoso and Canelo. No, he's not jealous. He's definitely not jealous. Like Eddy Reynoso, I think he still trains Gio Lopez, so he in a tight situation right now. I think after Canelo, he's still gonna be working with him, unless he's gonna hand him off to somebody else. Because he did work his corner. But the whole talk about the pants and everything, man, look, it's over, man. It is over. The people who can't understand what's going to happen, they're going to talk about Victor Cunny and whatever. That's fine. Because I still don't know how most of these people know who Victor Cunny is. Like, how do you know about Victor Cunny? Because somebody told you who he is? The next question should be, do you know how many guys there are in boxing right now that's like Victor Cunny and do the same thing that Victor Cunny does for your favorite fighter? Then they'll say, no, I don't know. Okay, all right. Well, conversation over then. You're out of your league. You don't have to know everything about drug tests or nothing, but if you don't know that your favorite fighter has the same type of person like this guy, conversation over. I think that's where everything is. Yeah, exactly. Then you got to have fighters leaving the guy. Then people halfway announcing it. Yeah, Oscar Valdez left. For what? Why he leave? Man, Oscar Valdez looked like he didn't even want to fight his last fight. Yeah, the fight before that, he looked amazing. I don't know if everybody's seen that Liam Wilson fight. He didn't look like he was on nothing, but he looked amazing. But the next fight, he looked like, man, I'm ready to get out of here. You know, Eddy Reynoso was in the ring with him. He was just like, man, I'm ready to just get out of the ring and go home. Yeah, then you got the whole situation with Munguia. Just a bad look right now. Yeah, this guy's on the hot seat. Then the Rodriguez situation is bad. So Rodriguez failed the test before, and he failed the test recently. Yeah, yeah, man, this dude out here, that's ruining careers. Because a lot of people are not going to fight you again unless you get tested. They can say what they want to in the media or whatever, but a lot of these fighters don't want to get in the ring with unless they're getting tested. You know, some of these guys, they need a payday so bad, they'll jump in the ring with Canelo. You know, they still act like one of us. They might be big time boxers, but guys would be like, man, I'll take anything. $12 million? Yeah, I'll jump in the ring with Canelo. No test. But they say, I've seen an article, and they say that Canelo has been, this is just a rumor. This is just what I seen reading. But they say that Canelo has been 365. Just throwing this out there since the Canelo Golovkin fight. Now he's not even listed, but I seen something. It was like 2017, 18. But I'm thinking, okay, that's just for the full year. Yeah, I don't know too much information on it. I haven't heard too many stories behind that. I was just going through some stuff, ran across it. But they say he been testing almost basically year round since the Golovkin situation. How much can I believe that? I don't know. To be real with you, I don't know. Uh, it's hard for me to believe that, bro. To be real, it's hard. It's hard for me because even then, that can be what, once a year. Nah, I don't believe that. It could be possible. I don't know. But they put out there like around the Golovkin fight after he had the test or whatever that failed. That he was tested year round. But I will say this: I have noticed his last three fights. People didn't notice this. If you go back and look at the videos I put out last year, before and after the Munguia fight, I was just telling people, man, Canelo's not looking the same. He's gonna be 35 next summer. He's not looking the same, man. He's slowing down. He's not knocking people out like that. Every time a fight was coming up, people were like, yeah, Canelo gonna knock this guy out. And he just haven't been knocking guys out. And the thing that's confusing me right now is that's what everybody was just talking about recently, and all of a sudden it just got shut down because Victor Conte. They want to talk about Victor Conte now. Man, it's gonna be more Victor Conte. It's gonna be guys worse than Victor Conte coming to boxing. Matter of fact, it is guys worse than Victor Conte in boxing right now. I'm not even gonna name drop them. They've already been discussed. You can look them up. All these boxing doctors out here. These guys specialize in treating doctors. I mean treating boxers. Specialize. Like they work with plenty of boxers. Yeah, everybody has one. Pacquiao's had plenty of guys that he's been treated by that's been on record. So it's nothing new. But because they blame one of the guys, I think the strength and conditioning guy, said they had him running too much before the Ugas fight. Yeah, Freddie Roach was upset, saying he didn't have his legs under him. But yeah, all these guys have a guy. That's why I'm confused. I'm confused by it. It happens all the time. That's kind of what we talk about. It's almost like what I'm seeing now with the whole Vinicani thing. I'm seeing everybody talk about one guy, but it's the other guys doing the same thing though. Every fight, most fighters who's making over a million has a guy like Vinicani. They have a guy. And different countries have different rules. So whatever he's gotten in trouble with over here, somebody might not get in trouble with in another country. Might be a third world country. So yeah, this is not uncommon. But I'm gonna tell you why this is bad in the Eddy Reynoso situation. You have America giving passes to a Mexican trainer, and then what? So it's a lot of dirty things going on around him, allegedly. And then you sending him back to his home country dirty. So yeah, everybody's not understanding, but Mexico, like, bro, what does he have going on? This man got fighters popping dirty. That's from our country. So they complaining about it in America, like, yeah. What about Victor Conte though? That's why Espinoza just start fighting over here at 30 years old. It might be word on the street. It might be, man, we don't trust how they moving over there. Espinoza just start fighting what at 30 years old in America. I feel like Mexico, maybe they starting to not trust how they moving over here. It might look cool to the fans, but if you destroying the best product they got over there, that's not a good look. And over the last 10 years, you can say that they have. They crashing out right now. They let this man have fighters pop dirty all over the place. Then these fighters got to go back to Mexico. Munguia got to go back. And he over here chilling. Still having fights over here. Yeah, they don't see the play. So everybody like, yeah, he getting over. Nah, not really. It's actually ruining careers. It's not getting over on nobody. If he has a fighter pop dirty, that's not ruining my career. I don't know why people think him getting over as far as getting a pass on a fighter popping dirty, like that's affecting us. That's not affecting us. We trying to help y'all out. Trying to give you a warning like, hey, we wouldn't let that happen. We're like, yeah, we wouldn't let that happen, but they're like, yeah. As long as he got the win and the left hook, okay. Let's see how long that lasts. I'm like, let's see how long that lasts. But yeah, I think everybody's starting to realize now, man, my favorite fighter can't keep up. It must be the PEDs that everybody was talking about that don't matter. That has to be why Crawford and Haney are so good. No, it's because your favorite fighter's not that good, bro. He's good, but not that good. He's good, not that good. Because the narrative has been, oh yeah, Canelo is on Mayweather level now. If he would have fought Mayweather now, he would have beat him. As soon as Crawford and Canelo get signed, now you got people changing their picks. It's nervousness. People are scared. They are terrified right now. They didn't think Canelo would be in this position. You got people changing their picks as soon as the fight gets signed. That was strike one right there. I don't know if anything else crazy happened yet. Oh yeah, Canelo said I'm not gonna talk trash, and then he went out there and talked trash, and everybody said they building up the fight. If anybody knows Terrence Crawford, he's not just talking trash to build no fight up. It wouldn't even make no sense. And Canelo said something first, talking about resumes. Like you fought nobody. And then last week, people realized, well, not last week, the last few weeks, people realized, man, everybody Canelo fighting get knocked out. But he can't knock him out. But he can't knock him out. They're like, yeah, Canelo moving up this way, that way. Yeah, but he's not knocking everybody out, though. Not like y'all think. It's a couple of knockouts that stand out. Like I said, I've talked about those. And if you take those knockouts away, which those knockouts should have been avoided. That's why Charlo is not really the reason why we criticize Charlo is a different reason everybody else does. I don't know. It got to be different from this point. Because Canelo only had, what, Kovalev and Plant. Really, everybody else hung in there. That's why I'm like, man, how Caleb Plant ain't? How you get to, what, the 11th round? A round and a half left. That's crazy. But yeah, Mexico got real talent coming out of there right now. Cause I like Espinoza. I ain't watched too much of Verde yet. But yeah, I can see what he's a beast though. But yeah, they got some real talent coming out of there. We already know. I thought Martinez, but then I'm not gonna lie, I seen Martinez old video where he was like walking around weight. I was like, dang, dude, about Eastside Cruz size. Then he said, oh yeah, me and Eastside Cruz fought back in the day. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, because Martinez said he fought Cruz in Mexico. I'm like, man, this dude the same size as Cruz. No way. Yeah, it does help with the weight, but that speed and power is the main thing, though. That speed and power is the main thing. That's why a lot of times, man, guys like Benavidez get criticized, but bro ain't doing nothing crazy out here. He fighting the best, clean. You ain't got to worry about him. Don't nobody sit up here and got to worry about him ever being in a conversation like that. They can say something about the weight or whatever. He's never gonna be in a conversation like that. That's why I'm glad he getting guys out of there the way he does. But is he gonna get the respect? No. But that's why if you look at things right now, from experience and everything, the two top fighters, as far as to me, I don't know. I like Virgil Ortiz and Bam, but if you just look at everything. Espinoza and Benavidez, those the top Mexican fighters right now. Now from Mexico, that's probably gonna be Espinoza. But everybody else, they not they getting destroyed out here by Reynoso. Rodriguez was about to be in. He was going to be the next undisputed. It looked like if he would have got this opportunity to fight Salvador, who won yesterday. Yeah, that would have been a chance that both of those guys could be undisputed. Now you got to do the rematches. WBC looking crazy too. I'm gonna be real with y'all. WBC is looking crazy these days. If they don't clean it up, bro, they better clean it up, bro. WBC looking crazy out here. The way they lining up certain fights and setting them up, and then the mandatories they've been passing down over the years haven't been impressive. But you out here giving passes to Rodriguez. They better clean it up ASAP. If not, they losing a lot of respect in boxing. You can have these boxers out here speaking for them if you want to, but as a fan, man, I don't really trust that stuff. I know people still look at the rankings or whatever. I told people a long time ago, man, if Canelo's not following that, which he wasn't, is not, um, there's no use to even go by that. They're already going outside the rules. It's like the only people that's going by the rules are the fans, and everybody else ain't playing ball. That's why Turkey came out and said, "Nah, we ain't doing pay-per-view," because he knows. And I've said it every live. You got people paying for stuff because they love boxing, but then you getting out of hand with it. But let me just do whatever I want then. That's crazy. That's why these cars that's coming up, people are excited because you usually got to pay for stuff. Well, they have been paying for stuff that's below this value we get now. These cars we get now are way better than the cars that have been coming before this. Yeah, these are way better cars. But yeah, they know what time it is, man. They don't know, so he's out here scot free right now, and it just shows like as a boxing fan, uh, if any guy's dirty or anything else from this point forward, especially like trainer. At first, it was like boxer, okay, they don't care. Trainer got stuff around them, okay, they don't care. You just know what time it is now. There's nothing to be upset about. In my eyes, I'm not really upset about it because, like I said before last year, people being quiet about that is going to ruin Ryan Garcia's career, and his career is ruined right now. If you've been seeing what I'm saying, it's definitely over. But all the support is not really there no more because it was on a fight to fight basis support. And they sending all these bots everywhere. They sending bots over here. So I already know what time it is. Yeah, I know what time it is. They put too much stock in him. If they're gonna believe in him like that, he gotta get active. What they're trying to do in boxing still, they're trying to have guys who are good talents, like Tiafimo, Ron, even the Tank. They're trying to have these guys just a lot of hype and no action, doing the bare minimum, a big enough fight to keep your name going, but nothing to really shake the boxing world, bro. Ain't none of these dudes knocking out people like knocking out nobody like Brian Norman. Not even a journeyman. They ain't knocking out journeyman like that. So I just think people need to wake up. That's why I said recently, I was like, bro, what's up with all this hype around Tank and Ryan Garcia? Oh, they get knockouts. Yeah, I like Deontay Wilder get knockouts too. Ain't nobody knocking people out like him. So what's the hype about those guys? And I watched those guys before those guys did. And I'm like, what's the super hype about it? Oh, it's just this. Oh, stuff that ain't got nothing to do with boxing. Okay, watch this. Watch all this stuff that ain't got nothing to do with boxing that's going on right now. Do anybody like what's going on with those guys? They ain't got nothing to do with boxing right now. No. When it come down to it, that's all they got is boxing. That other stuff outside of boxing don't mean nothing. Even right now, dudes talking about retiring. Okay, hang it up. Everybody want to be Jay-Z now, talking about they're going to retire for 2 years. They think they Jordan now. Jordan dad died. Now all of a sudden people want to act like, yeah, I'm gonna retire like Jordan. His dad died. I think he was grieving. That wasn't retirement. Not the kind of retirement you talking about. Yeah, most people when they say I'm retired, that's their last day at work. They ain't saying that 2 years before they hang it up. Like, yeah. Even LeBron. Man, LeBron ain't finna have that conversation with nobody right now. You can talk to LeBron about anything that's going on. If you bring up retirement, he gonna look at you like you crazy. Like, man, matter of fact, don't even have this dude ask me no more questions the rest of the season. So yeah, we already know what time it is when that happens. That's what I'm saying, man. You gotta learn these fighters. The like button don't mean support these days. I think people think that when they be hitting the like button on fighters stuff sometimes. No, the real support is when guys take that L and they gotta bounce back. That's when I find out who got real fans. When they gotta bounce back after taking a loss. All these bots they be sending around though, yeah, that ain't cool. It's too much of that going on. Yeah, it's way too many bots out here. For real. But I like what Turkey doing, man. He's really showing who want to be the best, who is willing to accept everything they ask for. If these guys want the money, okay, you gotta take the test. How you fight with Turkey out of Sheik getting all that money, and you got two or three fights lined up, and you like, oh, hold on real quick. I'll give it. What year is it? 2025. I'll give it to 2027. If a lot of fighters are still doing this, Turkey ain't gonna be working with them. They think he's trying to lose money just to be losing money. Like this is a top ranked card on Thursday or something. I think a lot of guys, the way they treating the situation is immature, man. To be honest with you, you got Keyshawn missing weight. He trying to work with Turkey. You trying to work with Turkey after missing weight. Ryan working with Turkey after missing weight and failing, then looking horrible. Then couldn't show up for the next fight. Then this man is getting a pass by ducking Haney openly. Still. Because I was passing, I'm like, all right, yeah, it's over with. But still, this man's talking about fighting in December. If I was him, I would have been like, man, I'm fighting in January. So nobody will notice. You fighting a month after Devin Haney, or trying to fight a month after him, 4 weeks later. This man ain't trying to fight that man. He got away with one. He ain't trying to fight that man. What's up, Victor J? What's going on, dog? Shout out to Victor J, man. Yeah, but Ryan trying to fight Rolly up a month later after Haney fights Norman. I know what time it is. I know what time it is, man. And then people out here like, yeah, man, I still want to see Norman fight Boots. That mean y'all ain't even trying to fight him. So y'all just gonna sit at 147 until he moved to 54. They only fighting certain guys off a loss. I think in the Haney and Norman situation, because somebody got to lose. Whoever loses, people are gonna try to find a reason not to fight them because they know they're gonna get spanked by that guy too. No, I don't want to fight him. He just lost to old boy. He ain't even look good. Out of that situation, they're gonna say somebody didn't look good. And I told y'all he wasn't that good. It's gonna be a scapegoat situation. Yeah, they gotta hire a lot more people to do that 365 too. Yeah, they do need to have 365. But with the 365, it's gonna have a lot of money involved because guys gotta fly. If you go into certain places, you gotta have what hotels set up. So when you come in town to test somebody, a lot of these guys stay in the same areas. So maybe you have regional, but then you got to have it across country. If guys is in Ukraine and Russia, takes a lot of work. Now, American base is possible, but outside of America and other countries, it's becoming a lot harder. I think that's why they did the Rodriguez situation the way they did when he fought U5. I don't know when they drug tested him. I don't know if it was after the fight, before. But during that fight week, they got him at some time. So yeah, maybe they gotta do it like that. Yeah, it'll be costly though. He said the top 15, 10 to 15 guys. Yeah, I think they're doing that now. They might stretch to 20. I think they're doing that right now. It might stretch to top 20 guys. Yeah, that's why in this situation, it's good that a lot of guys are waiting. If you're a fighter and you ain't fought too many people yet, it could be a bad situation. It could be good. Because you don't know who clean right now. But most guys who fought with Turkey already, you already know who clean at this point. knocking on the door like, yeah, like take this for real. Like on Minority Report when they had that drone come to the house. Yeah, that's possible too. Yeah, they already got stuff like that going on. But yeah, they definitely need to set up something like that. At least the top 20 guys. But that's a lot of people. I think that's why in a lot of cases, like with Dana White league, he wanted to shorten the weight classes. Because I seen recently they definitely need to shorten the weight classes. Because Nick Ball finna fight two guys in a way just fought. I'm like, oh man, yeah. Them guys at 122 might as well be at 126. These dudes ain't even getting tune-ups. They going straight into a Nick Ball fight. Oh yeah, just get rid of 122 then. Because having top 10 at 122, 126, 130, man, that's too much. Yeah, 105, 108, whatever it is. I think it's like 112, 115, something. It's crazy. It's too many weight classes. They got to cut down on them. But yeah, now I think they're just trying to test guys a certain way. Because at first they weren't testing guys at all. So now, however they tested Rodriguez before he fought Yafai, that's the way they need to start doing things. Even if it's not 365. Okay, yeah, from what I've seen, the information I've seen, guys wouldn't get tested at all at these fights. And dudes out here breaking records. And the crazy thing is, you got all this testing going on, and dudes are still out here on that stuff after failing the test. Vic J said, "Yeah, what's up with that? Nick Ball keep fighting anyway ex opponents. Makes me think Nick Ball on the horizon. Yeah, they were supposed to fight this year. Yeah, anyway was going to end up fighting. It seemed like Nick Ball first, and they was talking about Shushu versus anyway, but yes, anyway was supposed to be at featherweight this year. That's why Stephen Fulton said, I want a rematch. He was supposed to be at featherweight, but I don't know. He kind of wasting his time. He still gonna fight Akmadali on in September, so it is what it is. But Nick Ball, he fought a lot of tough guys. I want to say last year and the year before that, he fought Dogba, Ray Vargas. He fought Ray Ford. So they giving him a break right now. And he fought what's the other guy name? Mexican dude from that was on Golden Boy. But he fought him too. But anyway, all he did was let guys like Bam catch up anyways. Because he ain't been fighting nobody. The dude Doheny and Sam Goodman. I know Sam Goodman ain't fight anyway, but he's still an ex-opponent because they were supposed to fight twice. But I don't know, man. They building up this Inouye and Nick Ball fight way too much. Because 126 got a lot of talent. You already got Espinoza. I want to see somebody get in the ring with Espinoza. I don't think Inouye will ever fight Espinoza. I think that's the main reason why Inouye is not at 126 right now. They was planning everything. I'm telling you, the whole operation. They said already. If you go back and look at the promotion for Ray Ford versus Komatov, They were showing a whole bunch of featherweights, and then they showed Inoue at the end, like he's coming to featherweight next year. As soon as Espinoza said, "Nah, I'm staying at featherweight," because Espinoza was moving up to 130. He had actually moved to 130 already, and then he said, "No, I'm staying at 130." That's when they started making up these fights with Nakatani versus Inoue, and everybody said, "Yeah, I want to see that." I'm like, "Okay, man, it's over with." So yeah, right now, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, man. 126 is cooked this year. 122 is gonna be all right because Inoue fighting Akmadali, it's a year behind. Should have happened last year instead of fighting TJ Doheny. But yeah, they don't want to fight Espinoza. They're trying to wait until a lot of these guys move up. To be honest with you, it sounds crazy. Inoue versus Espinoza, nobody talking about that fight because they don't think it's possible. They do not want that guy to fight Espinoza after what he did to Ramirez. Yeah, you said I've been hearing Juntown turned down a Bam fight at 118. Winner of that could set up a real super fight with Inoue. Nah, both of those guys said they want to fight each other. They haven't been offered to fight yet. They're trying to get Bam undisputed at 115, and they're trying to set up Juntown to fight Inoue. I don't know Bam was when Juntown was offered to fight with Bam at 118 because when Juntown moved to 118, Bam moved back to 115. I want to say like the month that Juntown moved to 118. So now Bam could have fought him 2 years ago. But no, they talking about Inoue and Nakatani, so that's the fight they setting up. It seems like people think Nakatani is better than Bam because they don't discuss um Bam versus Inoue. And people will say, well, bro, it's only 7 pounds, bro. And Bam was already at 118. So it seems like low key people think that Nakatani is better than Bam anyways. Because Inoue versus Bam is a fight that's never really talked about. And they only 7 pounds away? They was 4 pounds away at one point. They might have even been in the same weight class at one point. I haven't went back and looked at it like that, but just saying. And what because Picasso, the dude David Picasso, is he better than Bam? Bruh. David Picasso's that's a real conversation. Let me go ahead and just write that down so I don't forget. I'll talk about that later on. But this dude, David Picasso, was set up to fight um Inoue already. And he's like 25. I think Bam, he's almost the same age as Bam. I don't think nobody ducking, but hey, it's just a conversation to have. That's why it's a lot of it could be a lot more hype down there, but I don't think they ready to have those type of conversations about the weight class. So the weight class just gonna be where it's at. You know what I'm saying? At 126, it lost a lot of hype really because you can only do so much with the last couple of guys. That not Inoue, but Nick Ball fight, or Inoue and Nick Ball at 122 fighting the same people. You can only do so much in 126 like that. Yeah, I don't think Picasso is better than Bam, but they treating him and Nakatani like he's better than Bam though. And I think that's a real conversation to have. That's the only conversation that really should be discussed with Bam right now. Is that he's psychologically being put underneath uh the rest of these fighters at those weight classes. What's good? What's up, Blood Rush Entertainment? What's up, dog? Oh yeah, Vargas was supposed to fight. Shout out my dog Vic J too. Vargas was supposed to fight. What's his name? The dude in that drops Fulton last year, but the fight got canceled. Let me pull it up. That's what I'm saying, man. PBC got to quit doing this, bro. To be honest with you, their product is already tarnished, bro. Their product is already destroyed. Where is it at? Ray Vargas verse. You can't even find it now. Yeah, but they have him versus Carlos Castro coming back. That would have been a good fight too. Yeah, I can't even find the picture. They had the picture up. Let me see this one. Let me just borrow a buddy picture. Whoever this is. But yeah, Ray Vargas, he finna come back because Fulton that's why Fulton going up to 30. That's not why, but you know. Yeah, that dude Castro who Fulton had got dropped by last year. That was the guy he was supposed to fight on the Tank versus Roach rematch on August 16th, but it got canceled. Yeah, a lot of these big names like Tank, a lot of guys, man, they be holding up fights. I ain't gonna say it's his fault because you know a lot of this stuff is business and people switching platforms and everything else going on, but they got to put pressure on these guys though. You the star, man. You got to fight more than once a year. But yeah, 126 is getting crazy right now. You said as far as UK heavyweights, yeah, I think all heavyweights, UK and America, definitely gonna have the best talent as far as heavyweights across the board. But what Dubois did recently, I mean, just not making a lot of noise. But UK has a lot of options though, and these guys are fighting a lot more. Uh, they getting a lot more exposure. It's just naturally gonna be like that. You're naturally gonna be liking the UK heavyweights because they fighting a lot more than the American heavyweights. Most people don't know the American heavyweight who gave Usyk a hard fight. So you know, or most people don't know the American heavyweight who had a draw with Zayn, or most people don't know the American heavyweight who was working a regular job and went 12 rounds with Anthony Joshua. So those guys don't get exposure like that. So you're naturally gonna like Odelay or Joe Joyce or Dubois or even Chisora, Dillian White. But it's over here, those guys wouldn't get no love like that. You know what I'm saying? Because Chisora has like 50 losses. And over here in America, it's just win the loss basis. If you got 10 losses, they're gonna most likely call you a bum. So over there, it's just presented better. And their accomplishments are actually looked at and valued. I just think that's what it is. But they're showcased a lot more though. Like Michael Hunter, who beat let me tell you how boxing works. Michael Hunter, he went the distance with Usyk. It was one of Usyk's toughest fights, and he beat what's the old boy name? They said the boogeyman, Bacoli. But nobody pays attention to him because he don't get no fights. You know what I'm saying? So it's naturally going to be the UK guys. But as far as taking more dangerous matchups, I wouldn't say that. I would have to say that's not true because fighting if Usyk is your toughest fight, he's a cruiserweight. That wasn't. That's not a dangerous matchup. As a Joshua or as a even like Dubois. Dubois hasn't fought Zhang yet. He hasn't fought Parker yet. He still hasn't fought Cavalier yet. He has more tougher fights he hasn't taken than the fights he has taken. Big Baby in America is just a regular fight. Um, Hergovic is not a big name if anybody would have fought Hergovic. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at just their resumes, their resumes aren't that impressive. Like Dubois is only 27. His resume is basically on the same level, if not better than Joshua's in Furies. You know what I'm saying? He got a win over Big Baby, Hergovic, Joshua. He got a good resume for 27, but he's the only one taking risk. So I think, you know what I'm saying? He's the only one taking risk in the UK right now. Joshua's not taking any risk because he's fighting American fighters. And you got to think about it. Joshua got stopped by Andrew Ruiz. Andrew Ruiz is not an American great. They probably going to say Andrew Ruiz is not a Hall of Famer. But he stopped Joshua. And he's never been knocked out by Joshua. And they fought twice. You know what I'm saying? So I think that narrative is kind of overshadowing what actually American fight heavyweights have actually done. Not to say that what you think is wrong. I'm just putting that information out there. It's a lot of American heavyweights have been putting feet on a lot of these guys from the UK. Yeah, I'm picking David too in that fight. Hergovic takes some stupid punches I seen in the fight, so that's wild. I don't know. He seemed like he's older than what he really is. I know he ain't been active. Yeah, I think the amateur background stuff is kind of overrated these days. It's not as good as it used to be, anyways. Especially the way I seen these fights get refereed lately. They're not even picking the real guys to win. The accomplishments are not even going to add up. I'm not saying they're hand picking guys, but I know Usyk and Golovkin had a problem with the amateur Olympic operation going on. Yeah, they just got more access in the UK. They got more investments. They're just It's more investments in boxing over there. We ain't got no investments in boxing. Over here in America, you got to basically be a finished product by the time you get to a big trainer. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot different. It's a lot more different. They know what's going on. But as far as the accomplishments, nah, them guys ain't accomplished nothing yet in boxing as far as heavyweights. To be honest with you, America is not going to have the same opportunities that the UK had as far as the heavyweights. We'll never have a chance to have how many fights they had? 8 fights. They had 8 chances at Usyk. 8 chances. If we would have had 8 chances at Usyk, we would have possibly got him up out of there. I'm just gonna be real. 8 chances, somebody would have got him up out of there. But to have 8 chances and lose all of them, nah, these dudes they gotta rebuild the UK heavyweights right now. They have to. They are in rebuild mode as of right now. Moses Atama is 20 years old. They have to have a 20-year-old lead their division in heavyweight boxing. They cook right now. Yeah, they cook right now. And I like the UK and they fighters. But I think the best fighters they got are the smaller fighters though. Like Padley. Like I was tripping out recently. I'm like, how Padley weigh in at 135 the same week he got to fight Shakur on short notice. Then the guy he's going to 130 now. I think guys like him, Yafai, that's where the talent is right now. As far as the heavyweights, they got to rebuild. A lot of people didn't like how Coley looked recently. I thought he looked good as far as the boxing he was doing. But yeah, a lot of people not really in love with the heavyweights right now. I think Moses got a lot of pressure on him though. I was thinking recently, I'm like, man, he got to knock out Dillian White in 2 weeks. Yeah, I was like, man, he got to knock out Dillian White in 2 weeks, man. But they just getting the opportunities at the door though. Like most of our heavyweights, if you look at their stories, they had to have a lot of luck and opportunity. I don't think they had a lot of opportunity, man. But it's gonna show though. It'll definitely show because we don't have no heavyweights coming out right now. It's not really an operation set up. Like the guys that Moses was sparring when he was younger, you'll never have an opportunity like that in America where you could just walk in a gym while you're still in high school and spar pro athletes. In certain situations, you can. Like Benavidez was able to do that. His brother was already a high level boxer. So guys like Benavidez was able to do it, and we see how good he is, but he's the only one. You know what I'm saying? Most guys don't have an opportunity like that with no amateur background. But he did it with no amateur background and just stepped right in and became an animal. But it happens though easy, but you gotta have everything work out right. But yeah, Moses basically did it the same way though. Now that I think about it. But that's what I prefer. That's the point I'm trying to get to. But it's kind of hard though for a guy to just step in there with somebody. That's why I kind of made the point recently, like, man, Wilder lasting as long as he did in the ring with Fury was actually a lot more impressive. that people realize, because a lot of people get outboxed by Fury easily. And I even noticed Ngannou took his foot off the brakes in that fight. I was like, yeah, that kind of separates him from a guy like Wilder. Somebody getting knocked out. I don't know. You can go to any some local boxing gyms around. If you're in America, you should have a local boxing gym in your town, or at least close by, that you can catch on a bus or something. But or they can have amateur events that's happening nearby. There's a lot of amateur boxing events going on. There's a lot of pro boxing events that go on. There's some going on this month, this week actually. If you look on the schedule on BoxRec and other websites, they'll show you fights that's going on in every city. Usually in boxing, it's like 100 fights going on every week. It's it's not posted, but it's literally like 100 fights every week. So you can go to any event and get information or work with a trainer or something like that. But I would first try to get a trainer I can work with somebody. That's the first thing. Somebody who has some knowledge in the game. That's the first thing everybody needs is a trainer. So I would get a trainer first. Especially if you heard about what happened with that girl recently. When she went to another country and they told her, if you don't lose this fight, you're not leaving here. So yeah, I would definitely get a trainer first. Anyone that's local or close by, they would uh, help out the best. But yeah, it's a lot of fighters out here that got to do a lot of bouncing back recently. A lot of them. A lot of them got to do bouncing back, man. Like Canelo, he has to bounce back. He's coming off some horrible performances. I know they want to take the spotlight off of him, but the guy's coming off some terrible performances, man. Terrible. I know they said, "Oh, this William Skull." Canelo, Terrence Crawford's not William Skull. If you don't know what to do against William Skull, you're gonna have a problem against Terrence Crawford. Even guys in Mexico was like, "Man, William Skull wasn't moving that much." Canelo looked like an old man in that fight. And the fight before that, he looked like an old man. Yeah, he catching Crawford at the wrong time. And Crawford has all the motivation going into this fight. You got Eddy Reynoso. He's getting pats on the back. They ain't gonna ask him no questions leading up to this fight. Watch. As far as him, they ain't gonna ask him nothing. They'll probably ask Canelo before they ask him. They ask Canelo, "Hey man, what's up with Eddy Reynoso on these fighters, man?" He gonna be like, "Man, this dude's sitting right here." Yeah, they know what time it is though, man. They already know. People getting scared right now, man. I'm gonna tell y'all how they scared right now. It's only two things that happened recently. Well, three things. Berlanga got knocked out. Then people realized, oh, Canelo couldn't do that. Now all of a sudden they worried about if Terrence Crawford taking something. You need to be worried about the guy who can't outperform a 160 if he's on something. This guy can't outperform a 160. You know what I'm saying? Stu can't outperform a 160, man. They know what time it is. The truth is starting to really settle in. It reminds me of before Crawford fought Earl Spence. If y'all want to look at something, go back and look at what people were saying before. I know not the years before, just the month before or the month or two before Crawford fought Earl Spence. If you just go back and look, same type of stuff you're hearing now. They start getting dangerous because now you're motivating him. He in the gym like, man, I need some motivation. Man, they saying you on this, you on that. Oh yeah, okay. So right now, Terrence Crawford like, man, I need some motivation in the gym. Canelo like, I need some motivation. Oh, Canelo, you the best. That's all they telling Canelo right now. That's no real motivation. Yeah, the other guy, he getting criticized right now. So they really setting Canelo up the worst way. And he already said Crawford ain't beat nobody. When I seen that, I said, okay. Canelo don't really respect him. He's saying the same thing everybody else saying. Now, the stuff that Crawford said to Canelo was stuff that nobody else said to him. But the stuff that Canelo said is stuff that everybody says. Straight narratives. So that stuff like that got to be chopped down immediately. That's why for me, it's a mandatory. This has to be a loss for him. Stuff like that cannot grow in boxing. I don't like to hear stuff like how he be saying, oh, you ain't fought nobody. Bro, you ain't knocking out nobody. Forget fighting somebody. You ain't knocking out nobody. You can't knock out a nobody. That's why I wasn't really laughing at the Berlanga thing, because I'm like, man, y'all boy look crazy right now. The person who really looks the worst is Canelo. You think the joke is on Berlanga? He just made $12 million fighting that guy. I don't think the joke's on him. I think the guy that gave him $12 million and couldn't knock him out, but a 160 could. That's what the joke's on. That's who needs to be over there with Victor Cunny and sound like. Yeah, Eddy Reynoso got this dude at the end of his career, man. That's why Eddy Reynoso said recently, man, we doing a farewell tour for Canelo. Which is crazy when your trainer say that in the middle of your career. And you talking about you always fought the best. Oh yeah. Joshua Edwards getting a lot of exposure, bro. Oh, he fight this weekend again? I ain't even see that. I gotta check that out. Yeah, Joshua Edwards a beast though. I was telling people about him in the Olympics. I did a video about him. I feel like he got robbed. That's why I don't like the Olympics though. That was one of the only fights I seen in the Olympics with Joshua Edwards. Yeah, I feel like he got robbed, man. But yeah, they know what time it is out here. This is actually funny to me. What's going on? Man. I can't do nothing but laugh. This is actually hilarious. The only reason Victor Conte is even a discussion right now is because a couple of black fighters is dominating. Dudes is walking through PD punches because Ryan ain't got no real power. Don't nobody want to talk about it. I was just looking at comment sections today that was popping up. I'm saying this stuff always popping up. Every time I do a video, it start popping up on my stuff. So I'm like, yeah, man, he got a lot of power. The left hook. Yeah, never see that left hook again. Yeah, never see that left hook again. I ain't gonna lie, man. Terrence Crawford got some terrible haters, man. For real. We need these kind of boxing fans out of boxing too, bro. These are the type of guys that didn't give Vander Holyfield credit. We gotta get these dudes out of boxing, bro. See, the algorithm, they don't like when I talk like this, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? I always did my thing. Y'all know me. The truth got to come out regardless. A lot of people don't want to talk about the truth in boxing. That's why I'm glad we got Turkey around. Anybody who got criticism about Turkey, are you gonna do all the drug tests and everything else? Are you gonna make sure these fighters are held accountable? No. So step aside, man. Get out the way and let somebody else handle this. None of these other guys is gonna hold these guys accountable. We seen that last year with the Ryan thing, and like I said before, for the 1,000th time, they ruined his career, bro. You can ruin people's career by supporting trash, and they ruined his career again. And the dude sitting up here, they hoping he bounce back so they can jump out the bushes. I seen people today talking about, yeah, Ryan, you can do it. I mean, Rolly just bounced back, man. Rolly bounced back against Ryan. That's why Rolly look good. He bounced back against Ryan. That's why. It's a lot of spring cleaning going on. That's why he look good. They ain't trying to fight nobody outside their little bubble. They ain't trying to fight no old guys, no guys with experience, no guys with no power. Dudes is moving up, fighting the same dudes they was fighting in elementary school. Yeah, I know what time it is. Hey, the clock is ticking out here, bro. When you got to go out here and fight sparring partners, I already know what time it is. And I ain't saying that to say all sparring partners are the same. I'm saying we know what time it is. We know what time it is. Because the one thing I've noticed, and people won't discuss, Terrence Crawford don't run from no smoke. Everybody else is not signing up or calling guys out or talking about anybody and fighting them directly. Everybody he's been in the talk with, he's fought. Back and going back and forth with, he's fought. Called him out, said he wanted to fight him. He's tried to fight him. Immediately. All these fighters in boxing are not Terrence Crawford, man. Terrence Crawford fighting guys immediately. He don't do no calling people out and building the fight up. He ain't trying to build a fight up with Canelo. These guys is not the same as him. Everybody acting like, yeah, they like Crawford. No, they not. You're gonna find out real soon they're not. See, what's going on right now is Crawford been doing this so long that there's been a standard set like, okay, you just gonna fight fighters like how Crawford does. Tough fights back to back. Just gonna go like that. If you go to a new division, you're gonna fight a champion the first fight. They ain't trying to do that. All this people saying, oh, I understand and everything with everybody else, man. The hey, bro, so they telling me now. So what I'm hearing now, word on the street is that everybody's favorite fighter can't do what Terrence Crawford was doing. I ain't just talking about one fighter. I'm talking about anybody. These dudes that's getting hyped up, everybody talking about they calling out Crawford. These dudes are not even fighting champions like that yet. What is going on? You got Turkey and everybody stepping in, helping these guys. Now, mind you, Crawford had Bob Arum. Everybody was like, man, you need to get away from Bob. But y'all telling everybody else to run over there with Bob at. Really? It's just a mountain of information, and evidence that's getting put on the forefront. It's a mountain of evidence getting put on the forefront. They know what time it is, man. And it's gonna be just like that. I'm gonna come back on later on. Well, yeah, they know what time it is, man. It's case closed on a lot of this stuff. I'm so glad these narratives is getting burnt to the ground because it was never real. Never real. And this proof it right here. This was never real. People so scared of Terrence Crawford right now. And I already knew Haney was gonna still take big fights. I don't know why that was it just now getting credit for that. But yeah, I think the talent that's over there with Victor Conte, people are like, man, Crawford and Haney was over there. It got to be something going on. Yeah, it's called skills. You got to have skills to actually be over there. I think that's what's going on. Yeah, high skilled boxers are finding the right people. But yeah, I'm gonna be back on again later on. Just wanted to go over a couple of things this morning. I usually cover the topics, but this is the important stuff that needs to be talked about. Whether it's for me or anybody else, the next generation needs to hear stuff like this. I don't think they get to hear a lot of stuff like this in boxing. They get to hear about all this other stuff. Then you got young guys arguing with other people. Then you got older people that's in boxing 50 years talking about PEDs don't matter and all the other stuff. And Victor Conte name coming up. So, yeah, this conversation needs to be talked about. So, stuff I'm saying matters, but it only matters to people who actually care about boxing. A lot of these dudes don't care about boxing. Like I said, this is just a one night thing. Most people, it's like a fling, Saturday night. It is what it is. But when it goes to the whole code of actually boxing, no, they ain't sticking to the code. They're definitely not sticking to the code. Now now Ryan Garcia is another fighter that since he's gotten to situations now people want to tie him in with guys like Crawford or anybody else. Oh, well, Crawford got to be in the same situation. Nah, no, he's not. Desperation, bro. I'm telling y'all that right now. You ain't finna hear no real facts about Canelo until this Crawford fight. No facts about him. Eddy Reynoso, ain't no real facts gonna be talked about him. Most protected guy in boxing. More power than Canelo or any boxer. It's not even a question. But that's all I got.